So last week we talked about how important darks are in our paintings and how we can't have vibrant light if we don't have strong darks in our scene. We went into some detail on how we mix these darks and how we apply them. Well, today we're going to go a little bit deeper into this subject, and I'm going to show you step by step how I apply darks to my scene and use those darks to create the light that I want. So before I show you the darks that I'm going to paint in this scene, let me show you a little bit of my process up to this point. I wet down my paper, and then I painted my sky and the lightest values of my scene. And it was very important to me that the ground was dark enough to make the sky bright enough. So even in this early stage of the painting, I'm already thinking about values and the proper strength in order to achieve the light that I need in this scene. So after I laid in these lightest values around my scene, some of these lighter areas for the boats, the sky, the lighter green areas of the grass, then I let my painting dry. Next, I'm coming in with middle values to give the trees in the background a little more structure. And I put a little dark around this building in the background to define it. Now, once I get to this point, this is when I want to start painting my darks. So let's go ahead and take a look at this part of my process. So I'm mixing up some Payne's Gray, some Cobalt Blue. Okay, and I'm going to paint this, the dark side of this, into some of these shadows, and we'll just keep going from there. And I'm seeing some red at the bottom of this, or a warmer color. So I'm gonna add in some burnt sienna into the bottom of this. Let it mix on the paper. I'm going to take a damp brush, maybe just a little bit of paint on it, of the same blue color. And let's go ahead and soften that edge. And I'm just kind of abstractly painting a few of the darks that I see over here. Run that right off the page. Okay, I need a little bit of green, cobalt turquoise, Payne's Gray, cobalt turquoise, darker green color for the shadow side of this boat cover. I'm not really worried too much about what colors I'm using. I just want strength, really. I'm thinking about value. Alright, we're getting into some of these darks, really starting to bring the light out in the scene when we can paint some darks. There's a mess of boats over here in different shapes. I'm just kind of guessing and connecting. If I don't get every one of these little details right, I'm not worried about it. Maybe take some more of this green that I have. This dark, I don't even know if you could call it green, this dark earth tone. Just pull it off to the side. Okay, connect this shadow to the ground now. Remember, the shadow's being cast down on grass and uneven ground. So I don't really want the lines down here to be really straight and perfect. You know, there's different changes in shapes in areas that are causing the shadow to be more of a broken line. Bring that over to here. Now I want some blue for the shadow side of that tarp. I'm adding in some cobalt blue into this. Alright, Payne's Gray, I want to keep the strength. I don't want to just add more water and not add paint, because I want to keep the strength of these shadows and make sure I'm getting them dark enough. I added some raw umber into this, so I have a dark, kind of warm color that I'm working from. Okay, that can come all the way over the edge of this tire, and we're gonna try and negatively paint enough detail here to make this read correctly. I'm going to try loading up my smaller soft brush with this same shadow mixture. Alright, we're ready to move into the shadow area back here near our main boat. Alright, I'm gonna need more paint for this, because I want to paint that whole shadow side of the boat. Cobalt blue, Payne's gray. Okay, that's going to connect right into the ground here. I felt like the shadow side of the boat was a little harsh compared to the light side of the boat. So I painted a little bit more value on the light side of the boat, and now I'm using a damp brush to blend those two values together a little bit. Okay, now we have a shadow on the other side here. So here I'm turning my paper sideways to paint some of these strong verticals in this scene. It's actually more natural to paint vertical lines with your paper sideways. So I got the mast and some of the rigging in. And these verticals really help to make this scene more interesting and move your eye throughout the scene. Now that I've painted the darks in my scene, you can really get a strong feeling of light. Now I'm using a little bit of gouache, and I'm going around and breaking up kind of monotonous areas of my painting, adding little bits of detail here and there. And I'm also painting the lighter color masks of the scene. Once this is done, I take a step back, I reevaluate my values in the scene, and I see if there's any little bits of detail that are needed. I felt that the foreground of the painting could use just a little more strength. So I mixed up some darker green, and I'm creating a few strong brush strokes in the foreground of the painting. By darkening up the foreground, it's going to lead the viewer's eye into my scene better. And that little bit of strength really makes a difference. And here is a look at the final painting. The darks in the scene were so key to get this strong sense of overhead light. Watercolor is not a very forgiving medium. It's hard to correct. Having a plan as we go into our painting is crucial. So that's why I made this free video lesson, 7 Secrets to Fresh, Powerful Paintings. Many students have already watched this video lesson and are seeing great results, and I know that it can help you out as well. All you have to do is follow the link down below in the description and learn how to paint more fresh and powerful watercolor paintings. Well, creating darks is so important in our paintings, and I hope that these last 2 videos that I've made can help you learn how to mix darks and how to apply them in your painting. As always, if there's something you're struggling with in watercolor, or if there's a topic that you would like me to make a video about, leave that in a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. So keep working, keep moving forward, and you're learning as an artist, and I will see you next time.